So what if I told you that you could buy a brand new 4-bedroom, 2-bath home with all block construction and a 2-car garage right here in Tampa Bay for under $375,000? Now that sounds completely impossible in today's market, right? Well, hundreds of families moving to Florida from the East Coast, from California, New York, and the Midwest are finding exactly that, looking at one specific suburb, Ruskin, Florida. But before you pack your bags and buy a sight-unseen model home, you need to hear the absolute truth. Ruskin is experiencing an unprecedented boom, but it's not a flawless paradise. In fact, if you don't understand how the infrastructure here is struggling to keep up or how flood zones could impact your pocketbook, moving here could be the biggest mistake of your life. In this video, we're stripping away the developer hype and the online clutter, and I'm going to give you the real, unfiltered, raw data. 3 massive pros and 3 undeniable cons of living right here in Ruskin, Florida. So let's dive right in. So let's get started with the absolute biggest reason why Ruskin is dominating the relocation conversations right now here in Tampa Bay. Pro number 1 is the unmatched affordability and access to brand new inventory homes. Now, if you've been looking at homes closer to the core of downtown Tampa or over in the St. Pete area, you already know that older 1970s built homes needing new roofs, new HVACs, and total interior cosmetic updates are easily asking $485,000 to over $500,000. And they're getting their price. Again, we're talking about single-family homes that are over 50 years old, that are at least $500,000 here. Now, look at Ruskin. Here in the South Shore District, major builders like D.R. Horton, Lennar, Pulte Homes, Cardell Homes, Taylor Morrison, and West Bay Homes are building stunning, master-planned developments in neighborhoods where the entry point isn't just reasonable. It's mind-blowing for a major metropolitan market. Now take a community like Waterset with leading builders such as West Bay Homes and Taylor Morrison and Pulte Homes. So right now you can find single-family floor plans starting in the mid-340s. And there's a massive perk here: no CDD fees. Now, if you've looked anywhere else in master-planned areas in Florida, you know that community district development fees can easily tack on an extra $1,500 to $3,700 a year directly onto your property tax bill. Now, skipping that fee entirely means massive monthly savings. It means that you've got more money for travel, hobbies, and whatever else your lifestyle actually dictates. Or look at a neighborhood like Brookside by D.R. Horton. You're getting open concept layouts, you're getting energy efficient smart home tech, and you're getting a community pool along with a clubhouse, a half basketball court, a tot lot, and dog park starting in the low 300s, which is actually pretty amazing for a new construction home anywhere here in the Tampa Bay area. Now, there is a CDD fee here added to your annual property taxes, and the range is $2,600 to about $3,400 for families and retirees who want a pristine, move-in ready home without the nightmare of immediate renovation costs. The Ruskin area, to include Apollo Beach, provides spending power that simply doesn't exist anywhere else in the Hillsborough County area. So navigating these different builders, understanding which communities have hidden fees, and figuring out which communities and which builders in those communities are actually best for your family can feel completely overwhelming when you're trying to manage a move from hundreds or even thousands of miles away. Let our team do all the heavy lifting for you and help you get the best possible home for the best possible value. Now, whether your move is 9 days, 9 weeks, or 9 months from today, from across the world, outside the state of Florida, or maybe just across town, we're standing by to make sure that your move is everything that you want it to be. All my contact information is in the description below. Call, text, or email, or better yet, just click the link in the description below to schedule a Zoom discovery call so we can discuss your plans, needs, and requirements to begin your new life right here in Tampa Bay. I'm looking forward to working with you. Okay, now let's flip that coin, because to truly understand Ruskin, that means we've got to talk about the growing pains that the area is going through right now. Now that brings us straight to con number 1, the infrastructure lag and your daily commute. Historically, Ruskin was a quiet, rural, agricultural town known for its tomato farms. Over the last decade, and especially leading into 2026, the population has really exploded. Now we're actually talking about a massive double-digit population surge. Now, while the residential rooftops are going up rapidly, the local roads and the major transit corridors are actually fighting to keep pace. Now, if your job requires you to commute into the downtown area, MacDill Air Force Base, or over the Sunshine Skyway Bridge to St. Petersburg every morning, you need to prepare yourself. On a Sunday afternoon with clear roads, you can get from Ruskin to downtown Tampa in roughly 25, maybe 30 minutes. But on a Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m., that commute up I-75 or along US 301 can easily transform into a 40 to 60 minute bumper to bumper crawl. While roads like US 301 are currently undergoing lane expansions to handle the load, you're going to need to deal with heavy construction zones and delays in the interim. Now, if you work entirely from home or you're retired, that won't impact you. So you don't have as much to worry about. But if you have a strict 9 to 5 in the city, that means that you're trading that home affordability directly for time spent in your car commuting between Lower Hillsborough County and your destination, which is either likely going to be over in the Pinellas County area, which means you've got to cross the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, or you've got to head north up to Tampa. So let's lean into why people really fall in love with this region. Pro number 2 is the authentic, laid-back coastal and waterfront lifestyle. Now, when people think of moving here to Tampa Bay in the Tampa Bay area, they visualize the water. However, if you try to buy a deep water canal home with a boat lift in the South Tampa or near the Clearwater area, you're looking at a multi-million-dollar price tag at least. Now, what that means for you is that Ruskin is one of the very last hidden pockets where you can experience true old Florida waterfront living without the extreme wealth barrier. You're nestled directly against the Little Manatee River and the eastern shore of Tampa Bay. Now look at a spot like E.G. Simmons Regional Park. Now, this is an absolute 258-acre local treasure right here in your backyard. It features native mangrove forest and an additional 200-acre bird sanctuary, a 700-foot public beach area along the bay, public boat launches, and kayak trails. Now, if you love fishing, paddleboarding, or just taking a sunset boat cruise out of the Gulf, Ruskin gives you immediate access to the Gulf. Plus, it has local waterfront mainstays like the Sunset Grill and the Bahia Beach area, allowing you to dock your boat, grab a Cuban sandwich, and enjoy panoramic views of the St. Pete skyline across the open bay. Now, it's a slower, deeply peaceful pace of life right here in Ruskin. Now, that peaceful atmosphere brings us to con number 2, which is the acreage versus action reality check. Now, if you're someone who thrives on a vibrant nightlife, trendy walkable art districts, high-end designer shopping, or a brand new restaurant concept to try every single Friday night, Ruskin is going to feel a little quiet to you. Now, while local commercial development is moving quickly, such as the expansion of retail plazas and the brand new Waterset Publix, this area is still very much a suburban bedroom community. There are no massive luxury shopping malls right here in Ruskin. Now, if you want a day of high-end shopping or you want to catch a Broadway show, you're going to have to drive somewhere in the vicinity of 20 minutes north to Brandon, 25 minutes north to the Riverview area where there are expanding hubs, or just make a trek all the way into Tampa to visit the International Mall, which is roughly 35 to 40 minutes away. Now, Ruskin does have great local gems like the historic Ruskin Family Drive-In, which is one of the last authentic 1950s drive-in theaters operating in the entire country. But it lacks dense urban development. So you have to ask yourself, are you truly looking for calm, serene sanctuary to unwind? Or are you going to feel isolated being away from the center of the action? Now, something to remember here. If the pace here is a little slow for you, you can always just run up to the Brandon Mall. It's located about 24 minutes north, and there's a ton of restaurants up there. One of my favorites happens to be the Cheesecake Factory. My wife and I go there all the time. Now, I can almost hear you. If you're sitting there thinking, okay, Thomas, a longer commute and a quieter lifestyle doesn't bother me if it means saving, $80,000 to $100,000 on a gorgeous brand new home. Hold on just a second, because our final pro and con are the absolute make or break factors for anyone moving here from out of state. We're about to look at a massive equity wave hitting the town, followed by a critical warning regarding Florida insurance, flood maps, and builder secrets that no one else online is telling you about. If you skip this next part, it could cost you thousands after closing. So let's keep it going. So that brings us to pro number 3, the Amazon effect and the massive future of equity growth. Now, when you buy a home, you shouldn't just look at what a town is looking like today. You have to look at where that town is going to be in 5, 10, or 15 years from today. Now, Ruskin Ruskin is actually positioned perfectly in the path of progress. Now, the economic engine of this entire South Shore region changed permanently when Amazon established its massive multi-million square foot fulfillment center right here in the Ruskin area. Now that brought thousands of jobs that instantly catalyzed secondary commercial growth. Now we're actually seeing a massive influx of medical infrastructure, including closeness to St. Joseph Hospital South, brand new schools, and major corporate expansions. Think of Ruskin today the exact same way that people looked at Riverview 10 or maybe 15 years ago. The people who bought early in Riverview sat back and watched their home equity skyrocket as the town fully matured. Now, Ruskin is kind of that same frontier right now. Now, by purchasing a home here in 2026 or 2027, while land is still available and builder incentives are super high, you're getting in at the ground floor of an economic boom corridor. Okay, guys, so you can't ignore con number 3, the realities of coastal geography, specifically flood zones, insurance, and builder pitfalls. Now, because Ruskin sits directly on the bay and the river, certain portions of this geographic area fall into designated FEMA flood zones. Now, if you're thinking of relocating here to the Ruskin or Apollo Beach area, you could accidentally buy a home where the mandatory flood insurance adds hundreds of dollars to your monthly mortgage payment, completely wiping out any affordability advantage that you moved here for. Now, you've got to be sure that the neighborhood that you select is above the floodplain, and that means working with a professional to ensure that you give yourself the best chance to avoid floodwaters in the future. Furthermore, you have to be highly vigilant when it comes to navigating new construction sales reps and builders in the area. Remember, that pleasant salesperson inside that beautiful model center represents the builder's bottom line, not yours. Now, these guys are not going to look at historic neighborhood comparison data or point out any upcoming drainage changes behind the lot that they put your house on. Something else to consider, you're also going to need to know exactly what happens to your earnest money deposit if you go under contract and then suddenly have a change of heart, or how to meticulously compare a neighborhood with zero CDD fees like Sunridge Chase against an amenity-heavy master planned community in nearby Apollo Beach, like Waterset, for instance. If you don't have an independent agent standing by your side to protect your deposits and negotiate builder concessions, you are absolutely leaving money on the table. Okay, so at the very end of the day, Ruskin, Florida offers an incredible opportunity to achieve the ultimate Florida dream: an affordable, brand new, spacious home close to the water in a town with massive economic advantages and a massive economic future. You just have to ensure that your lifestyle aligns with a suburban pace and that you protect yourself legally and financially during your purchase process. And that is exactly where my team and I come in. Now, whether your move is 9 days, 9 weeks, or 9 months from today, from across the world, outside the state of Florida, or possibly just across town, we're standing by to make sure that your move is everything that you want it to be. All of my contact information is in the description below. Call, text, email, or better yet, just click the link to schedule a Zoom discovery call so that we can discuss your needs, plans, and requirements to begin your new life right here in Tampa Bay. I'm looking forward to working with you. Drop a comment below and let me know, would you choose the affordability of Ruskin, or do you prefer being closer to the city's center? Now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more real, raw breakdowns of Tampa Bay lifestyle. I'll see you in the next video, and remember, home is Tampa Bay.